Good morning, Yorkshire Classic Cars Ltd fans, and welcome to a pretty cold, pretty overcast day in Retford. I've got the Anglia back. There'll have been a workshop update, or there should have been before this video goes out, who knows. I've lost track a little bit of things because I've been in and out and doing all sorts of stuff. However, here is the Anglia here, okay? It's been acid dipped. If you haven't followed the workshop update, but you are following the track on the Anglia, I'll go around it a little bit and show you what we're up to. Okie dokie. So I'd done a lot of the welding on the Anglia. Basically, the owner made a list of what he needed doing to it, and what we thought, and I checked out anything I thought needed doing. Then it went off for acid dipping, the idea being that that would remove what we knew was quite a swage of filler, it was a very thick coat of filler here, there and everywhere. Now, it didn't look like there was any more damage on it, although I had a quick word with the painter. It was his recommendation to have it acid dipped, I hasten to add. And he said there will be some welding for you to do when it comes back. Now, I said to him, I'd be pretty surprised. It looks pretty blooming good. You know, there is some thin bits that I'm a little concerned about, but most of it looks okay. So here's a quick rundown of what came back, bearing in mind thinking that we'd already done everything. If you remember, I'd extended the arches, that sort of thing. Oh, that's lovely jubbly. This is the stuff that came back. So if I scoot you over, you should be able to see this here. That's nothing, that's just a little patch job, that, just to weld up and grind it back affair, that's nothing really. This is a weld through primer, apparently they've put it in. I did a couple of little repairs on the doors and things, and it doesn't weld through very easily. Now that section over there in the floor, I repaired that corner, that's all fabricated by me, and that looks good. I was worried about how thin it was around there, but there only seems to be one pinhole, which is there. The rest of it, oh no, sorry, there is a few more pinholes, but they're only very thin. And whether I'll need to cut that section out or not, I don't know, but I'll come back to that in a second and explain that. Obviously the floor sections I've done, etc. are all right. There is a pinhole somewhere where I welded a section up in the bulkhead, and it's basically, I've missed a little teeny tiny bit. These are all okay. However, there are some pinholes in the sill doorstep tops there, and unfortunately there's a couple appeared there. Now I assume this is, I wire wheeled all this back really well. So I assume they've appeared because it's thinned down. Now I should be able to weld those up and ground them back without having to cut all this back out again. I'm pretty careful before I do any repair work. But anywho, there's that there. Going around the rear of the car, the boot lid it's obviously not on the car, but it lives there, okay, and that was an absolute disaster. It was like wriggly tin, horrible patches, chunks welded into it all over the place. Nothing on the outside of the car at this side. The arches are all good. All the underside is pretty good. There's a couple of pinholes here that have appeared since. Now again, I cleaned all this off because I welded a section in the front here. That's a piece I made from here forward. But that piece, I'm pretty sure I wire wheeled that off. So I'm assuming even if the metal was solid and it's gone thin, then it just pops a hole into it. Again, here, where that's at the side of where I've welded. And that wasn't thin, there obviously wasn't a hole there, otherwise I would have welded that up. Coming up onto the front wings, there's a donkey patch here. Now, there are some pinholes here, so I can't remember actually if we're going to unpick that or not, but I think the owner wants me to unpick it and put a section in there. This piece here, okay, the other side was like this. There's an awful lot of lead and braze and stuff in here, and that has dissolved when they did the acid dip. A hole appeared here, which turns out to have been a massive hole I had to weld in just now. These big welds, which are very untidy and scruffy looking, because basically as soon as I touched it with the welder it went pfft. Now I'm assuming that's because the acid has thinned the material. I don't know. I'm just going with that. There are some sections I've welded in previously, and I thought There's a big dent here in the grill area. I think that's, well, it's been welded up, dented in and then filled over. There's a massive dent here that we didn't see. Extra holes for trim here. And I don't even know what's happened here, because again, I welded a section up here, so I cleaned all that off. So it must have just been thin steel. This piece here, I think that's where I ground that a little bit too thin there. That it must be either that or I've just missed it. But again, I had all that in bare metal. We knew this was Ripley, but unfortunately getting a front panel is incredibly expensive and difficult to do. So I said I'd weld a piece of solid steel in there rather than a piece of filler. And then the paint should be able to fill over that. At least it's a solid repair. Inner wing corners, which is what I'm going to show you how I approach that here and here. Okay, so they've gone on the top here, underneath here, and in the inner wing here. Same here, all the way up. If I move my clamp, all the way up here, all the way down here, all the way in here. This is a hole, this is into the car. Now this, I didn't even check that. That was covered in like a mastic sealer. It was all masticed up like original, actually. Obviously the repairs I've done are all absolutely great, without being big-headed. I've just done a section in here. That was quite a tough repair. There were a couple of pinholes and it had gone on this inside edge here. So I took the choice to cut all that section out and just check that there was nothing rotten below that, and actually there wasn't. It was fine. This I repaired previously, so all that is some I've put in there. There's also another hole here, and a very, very, very dinted panel here and here. So several holes here, and then there's some ripples, not there, so that's where I've welded it up. There's some ripples down the wing here, somewhere there. What's happened here is the previous painter or the previous workers on the car, I'm not saying restorers because clearly they haven't restored it. What they've done is they've sort of, some of the panels like the doors had some holes in them. What they've done is they've sort of dented it in, brazed it up and then blathered it in filler, and that's an old technique people used to use just to avoid holes basically. Just dint it in, cover it in filler, and then the filler would hold. Because obviously if you have a tiny pinhole, you put a smear of filler over it, once you flat it back or sand it back, it just falls out. So if you put a massive dint in, it holds the filler in, which is what they've done here, and as you can see, they've gone to town on it. But I can fix that, that's no biggie at all. But unfortunately there is quite a bit more welding. Now I think this probably makes a decision that maybe acid dipping is a really good thing. I've heard pros and cons for it off several people. But I'm not going to lie, I would never have seen any of this damage without that, and it would have gone straight off paint, flattened down. Fortunately, or unfortunately, whichever way you cut it, it had pinholes in it, micro blisters in it, so therefore all the paint had to come off because they are rust holes, rust damage under the paint. It usually comes from moisture in your paint when you apply it, and obviously the steel gets little pins of rust in it. And that's why you get those little dimples all over. They look a little bit like follicles on your leg. Anywho, I digress. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to approach a repair like that. Okay, so I'm going to have a go at this and show you how I would do that stage by stage. Okey-dokey. So, first job, after dragging my fat backside over the front of the car, marvellous, is to cut out the rotted area. Okay, so what I'm going to do is very carefully cut along there, cut here, hopefully you can see that. I can see rust in here, so I'm probably going to come to about there, so I'm into good solid material. Okay, now the channel underneath, this is obviously a piece that comes down and then joins a piece here. So this piece comes down, the bulkhead piece. This is all one pressing. This comes up from underneath and has an L shape with this return here, which is like a rain gutter on it. Now, that's the worst thing Ford could have ever done there, because all that does then is collect all the mud and water and muck and creates an issue. But we'll get rid of it, excuse me, and we'll see where we're going from there. So So that's taking the first part out, the top part. So that bit now should just pop out of there, he says. Famous last words. Need something to grab it with us. Yep. Yarp. So that is now released from the bulkhead pretty much. Okay, can't really get into cut there very well, so I'll need to nick that through. I'll need to sharpen my chisel and nick through there. Now, this section underneath obviously has some rust in it. The whole section isn't too bad, but it is quite pockmarked, which you won't see on there. I've cut through the base of that. So what I'm going to do now is just cut through the top of it. Yep, that'll do for me. Now, the rest of that, I need to just sharpen my chisel. And what I'll do is I'll just bob through those little corners with the chisel and take this piece out. I'm going to actually start the repair with this, okay, which is that part there. The reason I'm not cutting any deeper into that is because I don't want to cut into the inner wing here because that's solid, okay, and I don't want to damage it. And I don't want to cut any further along here because that isn't rotten at all, okay. So the rust is located purely in the corners. In fact, if I get my hammer, I might just be able to get that nicked out of there. You have to be careful when you revert to the chisel. Purely because, he says, I mean, just put it down. Ugh. Purely because, oh, excuse me, live chest pain, because you don't want to destroy the panel. I just want to cut that piece off, okay? So what I need to do now is clean that up, and then I'll make a return lipped section to go in there, and I'll get it welded in right across the top there, right in that corner, so nobody ever sees it again. I may do it inside, I may do it outside, I'm not sure yet, probably outside. But I just want to clean these up before that. Right, it's denting the panel and I don't pick you up there. Right, so what I will say about Fords or Anglias, or old Fords potentially, is they're very easy to strip seams and stuff. They only put a spot weld about every 4 inches, which is really, really nice when you're removing stuff. So what I've done there is I've taken the liberty of just cutting up here a little further. As you can see by the rot here, I want to make sure I'm into good solid metal. You'll see plenty of angles. That removes a lot of the deformation when you weld and stuff. So that's what that is there for. And what I'm going to do then is just grab that with the mold grips there. Sorry, really, I'm not very good at multitasking. I don't think many of us fellas are, to be honest. So I'll just take that off now. Again, if I've cut a little far, it's not the end of the world. I can always weld that buck up. What you have to do is make sure that you don't weld up a section and then realise that you actually need to unweld it again to, to repair it. So this bulkhead part now, I'm all right to put the lip on that. That retains the shape here, and then I'm going to remove this section here. Right, probably so what I've done there, you'll see I've just got some offcuts of steel there. I've obviously cleaned around the edges with a wire wheel. This stuff is supposed to be weld through primer. I can't get it to weld through. It's not very nice. So I've made that simple section there. Okay, it's very easy to do. Now, I don't have any custom metalworking skills. I don't make panels. I'm not somebody with an English wheel and all that sort of stuff who can make panels like that. I do make repair sections like these. And truth be told, I really enjoy doing them. But I do only use small tools, so simple tools like a chisel, like a hammer, like a vise. You don't need, sheet metal folders, things like that, really expensive tools. If you buy sheet metal folders and stuff, you need a really expensive one. And for what you're going to use it for, I've managed all my life to get away without using one, making sections like this. You know, my ex-gaffer, he never had one, so I'm going to throw it out there and say you don't need one. That's the front lip, okay, so that continues on from here. And the bottom lip there that I've made is just to weld along on the bottom edge. Now then, the top lip may be a little high. It feels bang on to me, to be honest with you. But what you can do is once it's in there, you can always just sort of angle grind a little bit off the edge if you need to. It does angle down quite profusely there. So what I'm going to do is start with a tack in that corner. I'm going to weld right across there, nice and clean. I'm just going to clean that. That's just a bit of overspray when I've been painting something, so I'll just clean that off. It does fit quite nicely. Again, take your time, get your fit right. That's always what makes the best quality job. All right, even if you're an expert or not an expert, getting it right, just taking a little while, makes a much better job of it. So, anywho, that's ready to rock and roll. Okay, so I'll set you up. I'll weld that in, and I can't get any clamps on it at this point. But once it's held there, I'm hoping I can get a clamp to clamp the two surfaces together here and here. Okay, because that needs to be a really good quality tight fit in there. All right, right. Obviously, you might not be able to hear me over the welder. It's really weird being in here because the engine bay doesn't look that tiny until you're in it, and then you fill it. It's like trying to manhandle an octopus, getting everything in there. Someone said to me a while ago about, how do you manage to work with all them wires and everything everywhere? And it's like, yeah, nah, I can't really, not a lot I can do about that. Unfortunately, I'm kind of stuck with it. But anywho, again, take your time. Better to get it right than rush it, make a mess. You know, take a little time, just get these bits right. It does really make a difference. Now that fits really nice there. It's nice and smooth underneath. Okay, it's nice and smooth underneath. It's back to the bulkhead here. I am going to have to push it back to the bulkhead, but I've managed to clamp it at the front there. This actually goes down a little there. It's like it's rusted away, so I'll clean that up afterwards. But what I'm going to do is, contrary to what I said last time, and the job is always a little fluid, I'm going to try and get a little spot on that corner there. It doesn't have to be a work of art, just has to hold it in place. I can put the angle grinder back over it when I'm done. Okay, so that's, yeah, that's pulled that in nice. So that's nice straight line. We'll have to take a little off that. It's a little bit taller than this, but it was incredibly difficult to measure. Yeah, that's lovely and smooth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp it there again. Just try and get a tack in the corner there. Normally I'd have all this clamped together, but as you can see, these little bits like this are just really tight. That's got it. Yeah, that's got that. So I'll put one on the front here. This is turned up quite high, the welder. The only reason is so I can get a really fast tack like that. That's now quite well held, is that. The angle looks, try to look along the edge there. Looks quite straight. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do is get a big clamp. There we go. Snap my fingers in there because they're broken. Right, so the angle looks right on that. I'm hoping you can see all this. I'm not just talking to myself and wasting my time. It's down at the bottom there. Woo! There you go. Right, I'm going to just vault back in here now and get a couple of tacks on that. Whoop. Oh, split me difference. Right, so yeah, so once you knelt down like this, it's like, it's really tight in here. If I can get a couple of tacks on that. It's actually got it really nicely, that. So that's pulled that together. Hopefully, if I can get that clamp undone. So yeah, I'll just weld that across there if you don't mind. Just from the corner. There goes the earth. It's always fun when you hear that sort of noise, that sparky noise, and then realise you've set fire to your shirt, crown jewels, whatever else. Right. Lovely jubbly. It's a little bit, I've got the power turned up a little bit high doing this. It's all right when the material is cold, but when it's got some heat in it like this, all you do is end up burning it away. So I'll stop there before I make a mess of that. Right, so I can turn the welder off. That requires a little bit of angle grinding before I go any further, but you should be able to see there now. That is welded in. Okay, it's not easy to see under here. There is a weld all the way along that now. Okay, that's that blob at the end here. I'm being careful not to touch it because obviously I've just welded it. That's where I tacked it originally and I've gone over the top of it again, that's all. Here you can see it's gone down a little bit, just where it's rusted and sort of ground away a little bit, but I'll, excuse me, I'll make this same height as that and I'll weld that up gently at the end. Once there's a little more material in there, it'll dissipate the heat quicker. I've welded across here, welded across the front here, and I may or may not weld across the front there because it's a permanent piece now. So that's strengthened that back up, put the steel back in now. Flat edge, smooth flat edge, original cut. Oh. Yeah. So, this soft cuts here. If you look at that piece there, the plan's changed. It always changes. This piece was actually going to be, I was just going to cut along the edge and weld to it, but as it turns out, it's exactly the right size and shape for that now. So that now fits into there quite nicely. What I'm going to do is weld that in there. Okay. What you can probably, hopefully see there is I have actually repaired that section in there. It'll probably just get a little bit more tidying up inside once I've finished all this, but I might need just to adjust the angles and things, so I don't want to weld it up too tight. But I've cut a section out and welded it in. I'll show you under the inner wing. You should be able to see it there. It does need a tiny bit of tarting up, and that slit welding up in the middle there that I did to weaken it. But it fits quite nicely. It actually fits a lot nicer than it looks. Once it's finished, I'm just going to stitch between those reinforcers as well and seam weld those up. I've kind of done that one a little bit. I don't know if you can see it there up on the vertical. I'm going to do the diagonal as well above it there once I've finished. But if I do need to adjust it slightly with the hammer, I'm not going to be able to do that. So the section is ready to go in. This is the piece, obviously. Sorry about the light. This is the piece, obviously. I've drilled it purely because I can't find my hole punch. That's now ready to rock and roll. So that just needs setting up, clamping in there and welding down there. So what I'll do is, now the worst thing you can do at this stage is sort of tack it in and then start donking it to shape. That's all right if you're using oxyacetylene and things like that's how my dad used to do it, and it was fine. But if you're doing it with the MIG, it really needs to be as good a fit as he can get it to start with, because the heat will make it move. And when it does that, that's actually clamped up quite nicely. Perfection. Let's see how much it's opened up there. Just purely while I'm welding it. It's good to me. So, all being well, if you can see that, zoom me out a modicum, without the torch in the way, that is a nice shaped repair section. Okay, so this part needs to go back a little bit, but if you look at the gaps, they're never constant and even anyway, so I don't mind that being off a little teeny tiny bit there. I just need to tap that corner down. Okay, these are spot welded through to the original bulkhead as it was, which is now repaired up under there. That section is welded in, nice and smooth. All it needs is grinding back. Okay, really good, solid, straight, nice straight lines. Angles wherever you can get them. They relieve stresses when you're welding. There's a little hole here. Now, I believe Ford would have just left that hole there. Now, it's incredibly difficult, obviously, to get in there to grind off. And if you have to do it, you have to do it with a die grinder, and it's horrible. So what I'm going to look at doing there is welding it up from the inside, and either lay a little piece of flat steel in there and weld it up, or just weld it on the inside and then grind back, because the inside, this edge will end up flat if I do that. But anyway, so there's a little patch, a little section, repair section made, welded in. As you can see, I've started grinding that back as well, which looks a little bit better now. It's a complex shaped piece. Okay, so there's a piece on the inner wing, there's a piece on the bulkhead, and there's a piece on this really nice bulkhead top, which is a really fancy shaped piece. Once that's all ground back, that'll look absolutely lovely, but I need a little air grinder to do that. Okay, I've retained the original features, I've arranged the original shapes. None of these are affected, so it doesn't look like a big manky patch. The only thing that I'm not happy about is just that corner's lifted there. I just need to tap that back down. I may need to make sure this is welded, because it did seem to weld up very easily, but I was trying to be very neat there, because it's obviously, again, it's difficult to grind that back in that corner. I'll weld this part up here when it's all cooled down fully tomorrow, and then I'll just whip the angle grinder across the top of that, and that'll make a nice, neat, effective repair. So that, as you can see, is how I make a repair section in several stages. The Anglia is going to keep going. You've seen sections going into it before. You'll see more going into it before it's finished, no doubt. These are the big, complicated pieces. The rest of it, it's just really pinholes and things which aren't really a big deal. Sorry, I'm sucking my tooth. I've got toothache. Of course. Thank you. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please press like. If you want to see more like this, click the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye-bye.